The days slipped into weeks, and the fragile pause continued. In quiet corridors of Tehran's defense ministry, top generals reviewed satellite plots showing Israeli submarines transiting the Strait of Hormuz. No announcement was made, but each vessel was a message. Deterrence through presence. Israeli intelligence intercepted chatter, revealing that Iran was testing new centrifuge models deep underground, old but modified to increase output. Their technicians worked next to conduits humming with fresh enrichment potential, preparing hidden installations in Tajrish and other nodal points. Gulf capitals remained restless. Saudi intelligence quietly hired firms to monitor Iranian ship movements, while Emirati air defense systems were upgraded under a hush-hush US arrangement. Kuwait issued an alert to international banks to watch for cash flows tied to weapons procurement, and Oman launched emergency drills for oil terminal shutdowns. Inside Iran, everyday life wove tension into routines. Morning radio broadcasts reminded citizens to conserve electricity. Afternoon traffic slowed around military convoys. Evening brought power blackouts timed to midnight drills. Citizens learned to navigate a world where infrastructure was both lifeline and battlefield. Meanwhile, Israel launched a covert recruitment blitz. Skilled engineers, Iranian dissidents, and nuclear experts were brought to safe houses in Europe, some defecting openly, others disappearing from their posts in Shiraz or Ardabil. Each insider promised intelligence, a centrifuge design, a secret tunnel map, a forgotten lab. In Jerusalem, debate raged among ministers. Strike now while Iran remained partially offline, or wait for better intelligence, risking the restoration of full nuclear flow. Fear of international condemnation clashed with fear of a ticking centrifuge. In Washington, US military assets increased. A third carrier strike group moved into the northern Arabian Sea. F-22 stealth aircraft were refueled in Qatar. US cyber teams offered technical assistance to Israel's counter-cyber operations. At the same time, diplomats crafted a covert side letter. Iran could delay enrichment in exchange for a quiet, phased relief of some sanctions. The offer was prepared, not spoken. It remained on a burner, waiting for the right moment. Border towns on both sides remained on alert. Children in Haifa learned bomb shelter drills in schools. Shepherds in northern Israel talked about Hezbollah scouts seen on hillsides opposite villages. In Iran's border regions, farmers reported nighttime troop movements and frequent supply convoys. International media described what they viewed as a Cold War in the 21st century, but those inside the region knew it played out in real time, in bunkers and boardrooms, not just print and pixels. And then, in a sudden turn, a senior Iranian nuclear scientist vanished. Officials in Vienna, working with a Western clandestine network, claimed the man carried blueprints for a centrifuge array concealed beneath an underground dairy farm outside Qom. The man appeared shortly afterward in Norway, giving an interview about the instability inside Iran's nuclear command. No country claimed responsibility publicly, but silence spoke. Back in Jerusalem, the intel was enough. Ministers approved a targeted strike plan, codenamed Arc Light. Delivery vector: Israeli F-35s supported by US refueling tankers. Targets: 4 underground enrichment sites and 1 missile command post. Timing: 3 weeks from now. A final diplomatic window stood open, but narrow. Iran's leadership was called into a televised meeting. A hardline minister demanded immediate acceleration of enrichment. A more pragmatic minister warned that further escalation would bring regional isolation. Both sides watched. Tehran's supreme leader had yet to make the final call, and so the standoff held, fractured and full of danger. Beneath the ceasefire, preparations advanced, alliances hardened, crises gestated. Civilians waited, soldiers trained, diplomats drafted plans. The provenance of peace hung on a fragile choice. Would intelligence seizures lead to a negotiated deal? Or would the arc light strike ignite the region again? No one would say. Yet for Israel and Iran, for the Gulf, for global powers, the next move would define this era. The pause remained, but its days were numbered. Tensions rose anew with every clandestine raid, every transit in the strait, every muffled conversation behind blacked-out embassy windows. For now, the conflict remained quietly roiling, poised to erupt again when one side finally showed its hand.